Hello everybody, it's a rainy day here in the RV park, and today my test subject, come here test subject, tell him your name.
My name is a Jedi.
No, you're not a Jedi. What's your real name?
Walden.
Okay, Walden. So this is my test subject. I'm going to turn Walden into a Jedi, and I'm going to show you all how I do it.
I'm ready.
Want to be trained as a Jedi, do you? What lightsaber this is.
I'm ready.
Young Padawan, you are now a Jedi. Come don the robe of the Jedi.
Foolish Jedi. I am a chef. Lord, down with the Jedi.
All right, this is the start of how to make your kid into a Jedi. It's just some editing I want to show you guys how to do in the software that I use to do the editing that I do. So this is called Videopad editor, and it's supposed to be a free trial, and it's supposed to be free, and I got the free trial of it, and it ran out, and I did eventually buy the software, and it's well worth the price. It's like I think it costs $40, and but I'm going to show you how I do this. So I've opened a new project, and it will identify your particular video and kind of set the parameters. And you can actually tell how you want to your video to be output. Like I always do mine in 1080p, the best quality that I can get to actually put on YouTube. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a piece of video. As you saw in the beginning of this video, you see that Walden comes in, and I do edit some sound in. Like it was raining that day and we couldn't hear anything, so I edited in the voice and his voice and some sound effects and things like that. So what I have saved on my desktop right now, so if I go to my desktop, it's called Jedi Edit. So I'm going to take a piece of video that I have. It's called Edit Show, and when it imports, which it already has, actually I'm just going to grab all of this, and I'm just going to bring it over to the editor, just drag it over. And then you'll see that it is loading the files right now. So what we're going to do first is I'm going to show you how I did the, it's fairly easy. I'm definitely by no means an expert at this, and I'm going to show you the beginning. So this is the one where this is the raw footage. You can kind of see right now that's the raw footage. So I helped Walden get his lightsaber in place, and then he moves it over, and then I rush back in. I say, "Hold still, boy." And he did pretty good for a 3-year-old. He stood pretty still, and then I pulled his lightsaber out, and then I stepped back. So the only thing this is just a jump cut. It's pretty basic. So what I try to do is try to edit in motion. So I will move my cursor and edit myself out of that, and just before he starts moving, maybe after he pulls down his shirt, right there, And wherever this is, there's a little symbol right there that you can see. It just means cut. And I will delete that section of video, and I will go to where he's holding the video, holding the lightsaber. So he pulls it out, and he's holding it. And just before I come in, I will edit it there, cut it there. And then I will come in, pull out the lightsaber, and then I will step back, and I will cut it there. I'll move that center section out of the way, basically cut that out of the way, and then, oh, wait a minute, maybe I put the wrong one. No, I think that's good. So, and then I will get rid of that just before I come in, cut it, and then cut this whole last section off. So the trick on this is, when I click this video, I'm going to click Unlink from audio. So that means it takes the audio and video apart, and I want to get rid of that audio. And I'm going to do that for both of those clips, because we're not saying anything, and it's just rainy and it's noisy. So I'm going to go up here to where my audio files are, and I have this lightsaber sound. So that's half the thing. Like, the sound is half of the battle. So now if I put it together and make it big, and you can check it out. He pulls it out, and there he is. Now he's pulled out his lightsaber. So that's basically a super simple jump cut edit for special effect. Something you may want to use in your videos just to have fun, So I'm going to take these out now and just get rid of those entirely. And I'm going to go back up to my other videos. And now this is, I call the Jedi mind trick. So basically I've set him up, almost like meditating on a little table there. And I'm going to go just before he starts moving. So he starts moving his arm right there. I don't know if you can see that. It's pretty small. And then I'm going to cut off all this extraneous video that we don't need. And then I'm going to take it all the way, just him moving his hands around. And we're just going to cut that end off. And now, this software, if you buy it, or if you're within the first 2 weeks of trying it out, the trial version, then you can use a green screen effect. So I go to a couple different websites, which I'll link below, and where you can get green screen effects, and you can still use them, still monetize them. So if you look here, I laid it over top. So I'm going to go to the effects, the special effects, and I am going to green screen, and then I'm going to, it has a little, you can see a little plunger there, a little eyedropper, and I'm going to take out, and you can still see a green halo, but that's fine. You just leave it alone. You can, if you wanted to, you could have adjusted a little bit, like right there. Gets rid of almost everything, I think. So there we go. So no more green halo effect. You can kind of adjust it back and forth in here. And then I'm going to apply that. And now you've got this huge boulder floating in front of Walden. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make that smaller. I'm going to go back into effects, and I'm going to add an effect. I'm going to scale that down. So I'm going to make it 50% of, not 300. Let's do that again. 50% of the normal size. So that's a good size. And then something to add a little realism to is I go to the shadow effect, and then I move the distance out a little bit. So it's kind of down on the ground, somewhere where you can see it, and it looks kind of cool. And then I'm going to put up the blurriness a little bit, because I think it makes it look more realistic, more diffused. And leave the opacity where it is. I think it's see-through enough. And then I'm going to apply that to the video. So he starts waving his hand right there, but that rock just appears. So what I'm going to do is, instead of the rock just appearing, because I can't really bring it in, I'm going to cut the video right there. Actually, I can just move this to the beginning. And then where the rock stops is I'm going to move that video so it all kind of fits in together. Now, the thing that I think makes this kind of cool is I go to the audio, and I've got this mystic chanting, and I bring it down to another audio track. And then what I like to do is I just bring down a bunch, put them all in a row. So just like that. And then I'll take that in and adjust it to the same size. Now the center, I'm going to, if you right click on that audio file, you can put reverse clip, and it just makes it a weirder, wait, that's actually wrong clip. Let me do this again. So that was the lightsaber sound. We're going to do the mystic chanting sound. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4 clips will fit in there fine. And then every other one, I'm going to reverse that clip. So what this does is it gives you a seamless transition between one sound and the next. I'm going to play this. I don't know if you're going to be able to hear it, but I'm going to play it and see how it sounds. So I'm going to make this big so you can see the final effect. Now, what that's doing right there, it says rendering, because it's so graphic intensive to do special effects like this. You kind of give it a break, give it the opportunity to render that special effect. And what I do is, even if it's rendering, I can still do all my edits as long as I can see what I'm doing. And then in the end, when I export it, it's going to come out just fine. And I know that from just experience. So, but you can see, it's really a cool looking effect. It's really kind of fun to do. So there he goes. Yes, he's a Jedi. Okay, so that was the other effect, and then some of the other effects that I do in there, they're fairly easy, but I wanted to do these, and then I'm going to leave you with the map effect that I do. I think that was NDNomad or NDNomad kind of ask us a question, how to do the travel map, and I do it. If you saw the one where we're coming to Louisiana, our video where we're coming to Louisiana, you see the Madagazi RV driving on a map to Louisiana, and he asked how I did that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to do that too. All right, we want to thank NDNomad for this question. He was asking about how we made the map and put our logo on the map, or our RV with our logo on the map, and it followed our route from Kentucky to Louisiana when we came to Louisiana. So here's how I did it. So if you go to, there's this piece of software called Route Generator. So if you type into Google Route Generator, the first link that comes up is the Route Generator website. One thing I want to remind you guys about before, I'm sure that everybody knows this, before I do generate the map, is whenever you use a music, because I've been caught out a couple times on this, even if it says it's a royalty-free website, you really have to look deeply into the licensing for this, because you may be free to use it as long as you monetize it for the person who created the music, which means that if you monetize your videos and you're expecting some sort of a profit from the videos, and even if when you got it, they said it was free, you may not be able to monetize it for yourself, only for them. So the safest place to get your music, unfortunately, even though they got limited selection, is from the YouTube music section, like the creator section. Also, you can I go to Sound Bible, and if you read their licensing agreements, like it'll say attribution non-commercial. If you read through there, it'll tell you what you can use on videos and still monetize them, what you can't, and it's just full of great sound effects and things like that. So, that's what I did, like this one. There you go. That's a silly fart, if I've ever heard one. Okay, so you go here and you just push this link, download directly from here, and then just download it. So I have it on my computer already. I'm going to bring it up. So it's this right here. It's called the Route Generator. Now, the great thing about this is you can use any map. You can use your own map. And what I do is I got a map from Google. So if I go to Google, let's go to Google real quick. and then I type in Ohio, okay, and then enter, and we're going to go to the map. So here we are. We have a map of Ohio. You got to forgive me. My internet connection here at the park is not always the greatest in the world. We're not going to get that. We're actually going to get this link up here at the top. We're going to copy that link. So just your URL, you'll copy it. So here we are in Ohio. So we're going to go back to our software, and then under File, you're going to put Import from Google Maps. So I've got my aspect ratio set where I like it, which is 1920 by 1080 high resolution HD for YouTube. And then I paste in my URL and then push go. Now, when you go, you'll have the map. There's the map that you want. And it's actually covering my whole screen, but if you can make it big and you can actually see, that is the map. And then I'll push OK. So I'm going to call this road trip and push save. Yeah, I do want to replace that. So now we're going to get rid of this, and here we are. Oh, let's do that again. Sorry. Let's go and open that up. I closed the route generator instead of closing the one that I wanted. Okay, so here we are again. So disregard all that. So what we do now is you go to, I imported my own logo, but if you go here, looks like a little wrench beside new logo. It has all these things that you can use: an airplane, a bicycle, a bike, a boat. I'm going to try to make a top view RV because it makes it a lot neater looking if you get the top view instead of that. So I made this little Madagazi. You've probably seen it on our YouTube channel, on our Facebook and things like that. And then I just resized it and made the angle right and then pushed OK. So let's say we're taking off from Cincinnati. So I click there. Let me do this again. We're going to go to edit. So the little pencil on the tablet, that's the editing version. So if I click there, it makes a little red dot. And then we're going to go to Florence and just down, like we're heading down the highway to go to Louisville. So there we go. We went to Louisville, and then we're going to go from Louisville. We're going to 64, and we're going to go to Lexington. Okay? And then I'm just going to keep going here. We're going to go to Charleston, and then we're going to go, maybe we'll take a little country scenic route here, and we'll wind up in Roanoke. Okay? So now that I'm there, all I'm going to do is I'm going to render this. And it has a rendering, like it will let you generate a video. But I'm telling you now, if you are able to, okay, this doesn't really mean anything for you guys. I just wanted to see what it said. If you guys can get it to come out smoothly, I mean, I've got 16 gigabytes of RAM on my computer, and it hasn't got the greatest video card, so maybe you can do it better than I can. But what you can do is I will generate a route. And so I'm going to pick my desktop travel map folder. And what this is going to do is the first thing it's going to do is it's going to output like 500 pictures, still pictures. And then it's going to make that still picture. So you can see my little RV kind of, and that's kind of the way we move really, like right there's a Blackwater stop, and then, Walden's crying right there. And then, I don't know, Raquel's trying to tell me how to drive right there. But that's the way we really literally move. But we don't want it to look like that on the video. We want to make it as smooth as we can. So as you can see, it's generating the files, and it takes a little while to do that. But if I go to my desktop folder, so here we got the travel map. You can see, literally, there are just many, 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 many still frame pictures. So we all know that there's 32, around 30 frames a second in video. So depending on how fast you want the map, what I've got set is my travel time is 20 seconds. Actually, I didn't want it to be 20 seconds. I wanted it to be a little less than that, but this will give you an example. Like, we're really going slow. I do go probably 10 miles under the speed limit, but I don't know if I'm that slow. Now see right here it says executing BMT to AVI. So BMP to AVI, which means it's making it into a video file. Now I don't want that. I want to literally just use the pictures. So we've got all these pictures generated. There's 500 pictures generated from this. So what I'm going to do is I use the old standby Movie Maker, and I'll use Movie Maker actually because it's free. I use Movie Maker for a lot of stuff. To render something in slow motion or in fast motion, or to use a stabilizing effect on a video, I always turn to Movie Maker, because when it comes in working in conjunctions with your Windows operating system, this thing really works. It's very limited as far as its capability of helping you edit, having any kind of editing potential, but it really, really renders things very well. So as you can see from the file, it's still rendering that. And I don't really need that, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to interrupt it. I don't know if I suggest doing this for anybody, but I'm going to open up the task manager. And because my computer is working so hard right now, it takes a little while, and I'm actually going to just close that. I'm going to end the task on Route Generator, so it's gone now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click the first picture, and then I'm going to shift and click the last picture, and that chooses all of those pictures, and then I'm going to bring that into Movie Maker. Now right now we have 500 pictures in Movie Maker, so don't click any of them. If you do, you're going to have to go through and click them all. Right now every one of them is highlighted, as you can see. I'm going to go to the Edit tab, and under Duration, we all know that 30 frames a second, it's going to be a lot of things in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this actually on a really 0.15 duration. So 0.15 of a second, 0.15 of 1 second, or 1 minute. I think it's 1 second duration, okay? And then I'm going to play it, and we can see on here how fast this will go. Since it's 500 pictures, it may go a little slow. So you can see how fast it's going right there, which is fine. That's fine. And then I am going to render this file. So I go to my home, and you can do it here. You can do it from the file. You can do it anywhere you want. But I'm going to go over here to where it says Save Movie, and I'm going to save for high definition. And I'm going to call this, I'm going to go to my desktop, and I'm going to call this Map. Pretty simple. And save. So now this is actually rendering that file into a manageable file that you can use in other video editing software. I think it's MP4. It will render in AVI, but my video editing software works with anything, so MP4 works really well. And as you can see, it's going pretty quick. And then after that renders, you can import. I will show this video as soon as it's finished, but you can import that into the Videopad editor or your Pinnacle software or your whatever you're using to do your editing. And you can put your music in there, you can do whatever. And, on this software itself that we used, you can change your logo. Like if you've got your own logo, you got your own thing, you can put that on there. You can also change the color of the line. You can change it from going down the roads to just going straight, or an arc if you're, like it's a plane. But, it's really neat software, and it kind of gives the people watching your video, or even yourself, some perspective about where you've traveled from, where you're going to. You could have a colored line that represents the places that you have previously traveled, a different color of line of the ones that you're traveling now, and a different color for the ones that you hope to travel in the future. So it's really interesting to be able to use that. So I'm going to play the file right now for you, and you can kind of take a look at it. So see, it's actually pretty smooth. I should have turned it around, but you kind of get the idea. Just make sure your pictures are in order. And you can stabilize that even more. You know, if you cut down the time on each individual picture, like I put 0.15, if you'd put 0.05, it would make it faster and not shaky. But that's the way that I do it. NDNomad. Good luck. The software is all free. Movie Maker is free. The route generator is free. Got any questions? I'm always here. Just email me, Facebook, tweet, whatever, however you want to get in contact with me. I'm more than happy to help, and we really appreciate you guys watching. Thanks a lot.